Thorpe Park is well known for it being home to some of the UK's best and most thrilling rides and attractions like Hyperia and Stealth. But it isn't exactly known for its cohesive and highly themed experiences in certain areas of the park. With some visitors labelling it as an amusement park comparable to a Six Flags in America. On the contrary, many people consistently call it a theme park as it's home to some highly themed attractions and areas. So in today's video, I'll be discussing whether Thorpe Park should be classified as a theme park or if it truly at heart is an amusement park. For the first half of this video, I'll be arguing why Thorpe Park could be an amusement park rather than a theme park. And for the second half, I'll be doing the opposite. And just to put it out there is nothing wrong with not having any theming in an amusement park, because visitors aren't expecting a highly immersive experience. They're instead going for the thrills and forces. Just look at Cedar Point, one of the best amusement parks in the world for roller coasters, which nearly always gets positive reviews. Nice. Today I'm going to be critical for Thorpe Park as they're branding themselves online as a theme park. Now, the definition of an amusement park, according to Google, is a large outdoor area with fairground rides, shows, and other entertainments. Essentially, an amusement park focuses more on thrills than immersive experiences. So what factors make Thorpe Park more of an amusement park than a theme park? Well, let's start by looking at some of the attractions which aren't quite up to the standard of a proper theme park. Hyperia. Despite it being a fairly well stylized coaster, it certainly compromises theming for thrills, something you'll always find at an amusement park. Outside of Hyperia's fairly detailed station and smoke effects, here we go, I'll give you guys a quick demo. This smoke machine is well and truly cooked. Hyperia just lacks any sort of proper theming or immersion. And if Thorpe Park was branding itself as an amusement park instead of a theme park, there would be nothing wrong with this. From one big coaster to another, Flying Fish is another more stylized than themed coaster at the park. Sure, it has a nice entrance and a soundtrack, but that doesn't make up for the fact its main centerpiece is a pond. Thorpe Park's Rumba Rapids, which originally opened in 1987, disregarding the pleasant landscaping, doesn't quite hit the bar in the theming department. The trough isn't themed, and the tunnel, which sets up an opportunity for some good jungle theming, instead has a drumming sound effect and some cobwebs.
And I've got to say, in all honesty,
Rumba Rapids low-key needs more theming. Also saw the ride is legit the best coaster on Park Bro.
Okay, that's enough. Moving away from the physical attractions themselves, we need to talk about the lack of consistency between areas of the park. Something that is more common in amusement parks, which often lack cohesively themed areas due to their focus on thrills. When walking from Amity into the darker area of the Dockyard, home to Walking Dead The Ride and Ghost Train, apart from a change in soundtrack and colour scheme, nothing really signals the transition into the new theme. And then the upper end of Dockyard abruptly transitions into the jungle, with Mr. Monkey's banana ride being parallel to the Ghost Train. Samurai, which is technically part of Saw's area as the Old Town, is themed to some sort of Matrix Jiu-Jitsu. What? The lack of properly marked areas in the park takes away from the immersion, therefore giving it more of an amusement park feel in sections. Be sure to subscribe for more theme park content like this, but let's jump to the other side of the table and talk about what factors make Thorpe Park a theme park over an amusement park. According to Google Dictionary, a theme park is an amusement park with a unifying setting or idea. Going against the argument that Thorpe Park is missing properly themed and unique areas, in quite a few cases each ride will have its own themed zone. For example, the Swarm with Swarm Island, Stealth with Amity Speedway, and Saw's Plaza. Within these areas is some really decent theming too, with the coasters of the Swarm and Saw being on a European level thematically. The Swarm, themed to an alien invasion, has multiple impressive scenery pieces, in which the coaster weaves in and out of. Saw the ride has a whole indoor section with an animatronic, swinging axes, and a pretty horrible water effect, or a water fountain depending on who you ask. Amity, arguably the central hub of the park, brings a brilliant 1950s fisherman's village atmosphere, from having its own radio show to the most immersive KFC in the world. This area really feels like you've been transported out of Chertsey and into the delights of Slough. Tidal Wave Station is literally on its side to fit in with the theme of the area, which is that it's been hit by a flood. Amity follows the definition of a theme park area that has a unifying idea. Theme parks often base their attractions around a certain story, taking you on a journey from start to finish. Like them or not, Thorpe Park actually does have some very story-driven attractions like Ghost Train and Walking Dead The Ride. Although these rides aren't anywhere near Disney or Universal level with their theming, they offer an experience which you wouldn't find at an amusement park. Even the coasters with less theming than Swarm and Soar, for example Colossus and Nemesis Inferno, are far from something that you would find at a stereotypical amusement park. First of all, they aren't built on a car park. Instead, both coasters have detailed stations, one being a literal volcano that you have to climb up. They weave in and out of a well-shaped landscape, and they also both have their own themed audio. Thorpe Park's flat rides aren't just fairground rides, they're permanent within the park and are well integrated into their respective areas. Sure, the theming isn't Toxicator level, but they haven't been chucked onto concrete like what you'd find at some amusement parks. So all things considered, Thorpe Park isn't a perfect theme park, and we can see this through all of the examples I gave earlier with the lack of area continuity and theming around certain areas being lackluster. However, Thorpe Park is home to some pretty immersive experiences, which are often set in their own areas unique to the rest of the park. It doesn't just blast pop music either. Each area of the park has its own themed soundtrack, with at the minimum some theming or stylization to bring it together. Therefore, I can confidently label it as a theme park. So they aren't lying to us when they describe themselves as a theme park online. How could Thorpe Park further improve its status as a theme park? I think creating clear overhead signs between each area of the park would really help to make each theme feel more separate and prevent the abruptness of walking straight from the jungle into Big Easy Boulevard. It wouldn't cost too much either and would help to hone in that theme park feel we're used to at parks like Alton Towers, Chessington and Paulson's Park. But do you agree with me that Thorpe Park is a theme park? Be sure to comment your thoughts down below and subscribe for more theme park content like this. See you in the next one.